Alright, so we made it to the site. Tell you what, that was a rough trail there at the end. Let's go see how the back did. Oh man, what a disaster. Little Santa Fe Brewing. Oh man, that's good. All right, so tomorrow or the next day, we'll see what the weather does. The plan is to hike all the way up to that snow-capped peak. You know, maybe do some wildlife photography along the way, depending what's up there. I know they have some mountain goats and there's elk, all sorts of things. So we'll see what we can find tomorrow or the next day, and I'll bring you guys along for that journey. Well, we got a little bourbon, small fire. It's turned into a pretty good night. I was pretty impressed with how the Tacoma did on some of those trails. Most of it was pretty easy, but there's a few parts that were pretty rutted out with a decent amount of articulation. Unfortunately, the suspension in this thing is shot, so that's why I'm so impressed with how it did on those trails. Well, roads and trails, mostly roads. It's a 2008, has 100 and almost 50,000 miles on it. The leaf springs we had replaced in 2017. The shocks are original from 2008, so those are the next on the list. I do have some things I want to do to the rear end suspension. I'm thinking some sumo springs, and then I want to add an extra leaf in the back. Currently it squats about 2.5 inches when I load it up with the camper, which isn't horrible, but I would like for it to not squat quite that much. It sits maybe 1/2 inch above the bump stock, so any little bump in the service roads, I end up hitting the bump stocks, and I'm not a fan of that. So, but overall it did pretty good. So I think for now I'm just going to enjoy this fire, sip a little bourbon once my chicken's thawed out, make a little dinner, and head to bed. It's a bit cloudy this morning. It should clear up though, because if I keep turning, that's all blue sky coming our way. We're just getting started out this morning. A little bit later than I wanted. I believe it's like 8:30 right now. I kind of wanted to be on the trail about 7:30, but I just had too much to do around camp to get things ready. I should have got all of my camera gear ready last night, but I was pretty tired, so I just went to bed. But nonetheless, we are the only ones here. At least there's no cars here at the trailhead. And man, this altitude is already getting to me. So we're about 9,500 feet right now, and we're gonna be going up to about 13,000 if all goes well. This trail will take us to San Leonardo Lake. And surrounding that lake is huge rock walls and stuff like that. So we're gonna end up bushwhacking and scrambling up some of those rock walls to get to the peak. But we'll see how it goes. There's a lot of clouds up there right now. We have to see what the weather does. Tell you what, this is a beautiful, beautiful hike. It follows along a stream here. There's a little bit of snow on the ground from snowfall we had a few days ago. It wasn't a lot, but it's enough to have little patches here and there. The trail is looking pretty good. So I think I'm gonna put the camera away for a while because I need to make up a little bit of time. We got a late start today. And if we're gonna make it to the peak, I need to go ahead and get up there, up to the lake. So the trail's getting a little bit snowier than I originally anticipated. And I do not have any crampons. It's really difficult to tell, but that is a steep hill. A steep, snowy, icy hill. But we're gonna push on. man, it sure is beautiful up here. I'll tell you what, for a while there, that trail was kicking my butt. I've done this hike before, but this time it was much more difficult. My guess is that it's because of the pack and the weight that I'm bringing. With this long camera lens and this drone, it weighs quite a bit. But regardless, we made it. So the plan was to make it actually all the way to the top by kind of bushwhacking and scrambling up one of these slopes. But number one, I'm not sure if we're gonna have time, and number two, the altitude's kind of getting to me this time around, so not sure if we're gonna do that today. The weather's also pretty variable. It's sunny right now, but about 30 minutes ago it was very cloudy, and I think there was, it looked like it was sleeting a little bit at the top. So I think we're gonna try and save that for another day. Maybe once I at some point when I can stay out here for a couple days and get acclimated, then we can go up to the top. Because right now we're at 11,400 feet. And up to the top there's just about 13,000 feet. So yeah, we'll do that another day. But it sounds like there's a lot of wildlife around here, mostly birds. So I'm gonna eat some lunch and then see what we can find. So I'm not having the best of luck with this whole wildlife photography thing. There's a lot of small animals around, like birds, chipmunks, squirrels, things like that. But none of them will come close enough for me to get any good photos or video footage of. Even with this lens here, 600 millimeters, it's still like, when the critters are that small, they need to come pretty close, but they're all just so skittish, probably because I flew my drone first. And that probably scared them away, so yeah, I don't know, we'll see. Well, it's about 2 o'clock now in the afternoon. Photography has been a bust up here. I think on the way up I got a couple shots, a couple really fuzzy, grainy shots of a woodpecker, but that was about it. I'll keep my eye out on the way back down, see if I see anything else, but it's getting kind of late in the afternoon, at least considering we have to go back down, so I think I'm going to go ahead and hit the trail, and I'll see you at the camper. Came across this little guy sitting in the field. See if I can't get my long lens out and get a photograph. Well, I thought we were gonna strike out, but we didn't. On the way back, found that bird laying down in the grass, and it stayed there long enough for me to get my long lens out and set that up and get some photographs. I didn't use a tripod because I didn't want it to leave while I started setting up the tripod, so I just shot that by hand. A little grainy. It's kind of dark in that area, but I think it turned out okay. So I'm happy.